Man, just had game night last night, so I got all these furries on my mat. Hey, this will be a very different video than usual. I'm doing my very first like top 10, well in this case top 20, but I'm starting to do it with party games. I have played like over like 70-ish party games so far, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of see like a top 20 list of party games. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Ryan and welcome to the board game journey where you will be joining me to play 1,000 games. Now, we currently have played 37 games of the 1,000, so ways to go, but doing this list, I will add 20 more, so that would be kind of cool. So yeah, let's get into some of the details and the rules of how I made the list. So how I approached the top 20 list was I didn't just do my own personal rating of it. I wanted to kind of have more data to kind of inform my decision. So I kind of came up with 3 buckets of like a criteria. Now each one's out of 5. So first one was like ease of teaching it. Like 1 in this case would be like very hard to teach it, and then like a 5 would be very easy to teach it. And then I gave a personal rating, except out of 5. I said like 1 I didn't like it, a 5 I loved it. And then I gave a rating for my friends. So generally I just kind of said, okay, what did the average, like I usually ask my friends like, hey, how was that game? Would you play it again? And I kind of put what I could feel like their rating would be compared to all the other games that we rated. So with those 3 ratings, the best score you can get is a 15. And then, so yeah, we're just gonna start from 20. I mean, I ranked them all. Now, to be honest, for for number 20, it's gonna be a 3-way tie because that's how it worked out. I did a sort and 20 ended up having 3 games at 20. So we're just gonna cover all of them. All right, so number 20, I actually was mistaken. It was a 4-way tie. I just checked my nifty spreadsheet and I realized I missed one. So, I mean, the kind of like the honorable mention / ties. Your first up was a game that, honestly, I didn't think I would even enjoy, and this is same, but different. Now, I'm not a fan of like Cards Against Humanity or What's the Meme, but you know, this game is in that same vein as those, but one big difference. Instead of the cards deciding how funny you are, this one is a write in your response. So you're giving the, I'll just show you. It's a good box. So everyone gets some of these cards. They're essentially just like foldable dry erase boards. And of course you get I feel like this marker is just famous in the board game world. I feel like so many of these party games come with these markers, but these are branded. So good on them. So the concept of same but different is you're gonna have a safe card and a risky card. Now, I'm gonna try to keep this clean here, so I found one that was pretty tame. But imagine the risky cards can be, you know, in the adult rated kind of like NC-17, not all of them, some are more innuendos, but some of them can be pretty vulgar. Just a heads up. Definitely a group dependent game. I play this with like very close friends. I'm not gonna play this with some of my in-laws, if you will. So you'll get 2 cards, a safe card, which is always pretty clean, and then like a contrasting situation. So in this case, I would ask everybody, hey, something you can say at the zoo and meeting your partner's parents for the first time. So everyone would hear that prompt, and now you have to come up with something funny and put it here. Now, I did notice we were playing a pretty big group the first time I played this game. And I noticed like one person was like, oh man, I'm not good at these, or writing up responses. So I could feel like some people have resistance to this. But even some people who said like, oh, I'm not good at these. I mean, I find they are usually the funnier people. Like they put things they think are dry, but in context and maybe the situation, it ends up being freaking hilarious. So yeah, these are the games that I think are good in small doses. Like I said, it's towards the bottom of the list. But I would say the rating of this game was more driven by my friends than me. Once again, to be clear, some of these games on this list, like I might have been okay with it, but they might have loved it. So obviously that skewed my ratings a little bit, which is not bad. I don't mind, because some games, like if I still enjoy it enough to play it, I don't mind. Because if I'm playing a party game and I know that if I want to reach for a party game that's further on the list that I love, and I know it's gonna bomb, why would I play it? But I know like the group dynamics and the situations we're in at a party, this is just gonna go over way better, right? And it's not Cards Against Humanity, which is nice, because I will just leave the party instead of playing that game. And if I didn't say it wasn't clear, same thing happens. So everyone writes a response down, there's one judge, the judge picks their favorite. Usually these games, the funny part is just hearing their responses. The points don't really matter. I mean, you can have a winner just for funsies, but I find you just everyone plays the judge one time and then the game's done. You know, I usually by the 4th, 5th person, the novelty starts to wear off. So these are good in short spurts. The other tie in top 20, I guess I'll have like 20 part A, I guess. 20 part A, 20 part, I don't know. 20 part 1? Some kind of rating going on here. Was In Vino Morte. Was it via In Vita Morte? So I love Princess Bride, and I love the scene with the iocane powder where he's like, you know, you put the poison in the wine and you mix them up and you have to figure out which one has the poison. That's essentially that scene from my favorite movie in game form. So this is one of those games where it sneakily doesn't feel like it would be a lot of game. But I find with this, it's just a small package that I personally do like bringing this game. I'll just throw it in my, like, if I'm going somewhere, it's just usually my bag because, like the other day we're at a bowling alley, everyone's sitting down like the little sports bar area. And I was like, hey, you want to play a little game? And it's, you know, with a group of 4 of us that know each other well. And this went over really well. It's just like, you know, it's my wife and then they were married. So then it just becomes funny. Like, oh, I should just play the game to you. So in this game, essentially there's poison bottles, right? And then there's wine bottles. And that's it. Either it is poison or wine. Now, the thing is, the rules are you hand them out to people face down. And you have to at least put 1 wine bottle and at least 1 poison. But the combination of them is up to you. So if you want to put, like, you know, 3 poisons in 1 wine, that's fine. Or all wine and 1 poison, or half and half. That's part of the game, trying to figure out, like, what did you do? So then everyone gets a card, and now, starting for the person on my left, they either drink it, and then look at it, and if it's poison, they're out. Or they can switch it with somebody. They might switch it with me. And now they hold it. So now you either drink it right away or hold it. So everyone goes through that. They can keep switching all they want. But once it gets back to me, we all reveal, we see how we did. Right? And this is one of those games where, as you can imagine, it's going to be one of those games where, like, the more you play it, the better it gets. Because, like, on the first time, I put the poison in front of me. But then you play again, like, okay, Ryan put the poison in front of him last time. Did he do it this time? Or did he know I was going to know that he did it, and then that's why he didn't do it? But he knew I knew that he was. And so people do a lot of that. And it's just funny. It's almost reliving the Princess Bride scene. You know, you never go to, what's it, War with a Sicilian? I forget the quote. Shame on me, my favorite movie. I'm forgetting the quote now. So yeah, this game is fun. I like that it's, you know, more my style game, fits in your pocket. So the third game in the 4-way tie is going to be Sounds Fishy. I even bought, look how cute. I bought the travel version. I like it. I like this. I know why. It comes in like a sardine can. Like, this is actually one of the few tins that the lid actually stays on. I'm not a big tin fan, but I guess the style that goes in versus on top, they do seem to stay together a lot better. But the travel version. But so I think it's kind of cool because this game is huge, and this still does the job pretty well. So I feel like if you really love this game, like once again, like if I'm going somewhere, I can have this, and a bunch of, and it's just small, packed small. I love it. But the big version, if you haven't heard this game, I think I like this game more. I think I rated it higher than my friends, so it definitely kind of, that's what skewed it to the bottom. It's also, I mean, trickier than these other games. The first 2 ones we talked about, way easier to teach. So I think those scored way higher on the teaching scale. This one's more like a 2.5 or a 3 out of 5 in terms of difficulty. It's being lower numbers are bad in this case because it's just, you know, I find when you have to, like, especially the games that there's a little bit of bluffing and lying involved, like what this one does, it can get a little confusing. The quick short story of this, it's sort of like a bluffing game. So everyone gets these fish, and there's like 1 blue fish. And you can play it with a lot of people. I forgot what the exact number is. 4 to 10 apparently, which is nice. I like having games like this because you can play a lot of people. Like usually sometimes I'll have like a perfect 4-player game or a 5-player game, and then all of a sudden a 6th person comes over and you're like, crap, no, this is good. It plays a lot of people. So everyone gets these at random, and 1 person secretly will have the blue fish. And in this game, you have like a prompt that I read. I say something like, this is backwards for some reason. So the question is like, okay, I'll just read you a question for example. In 2021, there was a spike in people selling what innocent item on the black market? So I would read the question, but everyone else sees the answer right here. So everyone knows the answer in this case is Lego. Apparently that was the innocent item on the black market. So everyone sees Lego except for me. I don't know it. Now, so everyone who has a red fish has to make up an answer. They'll say something else. Like, I don't know. They could say like Beanie Babies or whatever. But the blue fish has to say the real answer. And that's it. So they say the real answer. Everyone else is bluffing and lying. And I have to suss out who I think is who. So essentially, I try to reveal all the fake people first, all the red fishes first. And I try to reveal the blue fish last. Now, I can stop whenever I want. because every time I get one right, I get points, and then but if I bust, if I get the blue one on accident, then I lose all my points. So it's definitely a push your luck element as well. How far can you go before you bust? And sometimes you can just nail it, right? But then once again, bluffing games like this are definitely group dependent. It's just, some people just like, but I say that because people are bad at lying, but sometimes in this game, that can work to your advantage, because if you just are always bad, even when you're telling the truth or lying, it's hard to tell, like, wait, are they messing with me? Because I saw somebody actually, this game's funny with we play with 4 couples, or what it was, a bunch of couples. So it might have been like 8 of us. But then one person, like the wife, just kind of played into like she was making it up, and the husband immediately called her out. But then she ended up being having the blue fish, so he lost right away. So it was great because once again, it is a bluffing game in a way. So if you have the blue fish, but you make it seem like you're making it up, you can trick the person into guessing you first. But yeah, it's fun, it's cute, you do learn some random facts as well, which I like. I like trivia games. So that's it. It sounds fishy. So the last game in the 4-way tie for number 20 is Blank Slate. So I guess these games are obviously just interchangeable, right? So Blank Slate, I guess this will be 20.4. I don't know. Some X monkey lion tiger. Yeah, this is 20-point tiger. So Blank Slate. This game definitely falls into the realm of like green teams wins and herd mentality as well. I think they're all similar games where everyone has a prompt and you're trying to like fall into the similarities, right? We'll go real quickly. Let me just show you how this looks. I do like this one. It comes with a nice, easy to follow scoreboard, just a joint scoreboard where everyone can kind of follow how everyone's doing. And of course, our favorite markers, unbranded though. Come on, guys. Same, different. Setting the bar here with branded markers. But yeah, the famous whiteboards. Am I the only one that feels like I end up reusing these? Like if I have another game that I need a whiteboard that didn't come with them, I end up like busting out like this game or another game and stealing the components. Yeah. I'm sure I'm not the only one. So the one twist on this game versus like other games is they're all going to be basically these questions are all going to be roughly the same. So I would do something like snow. I would say snow. And just fill the blank in. So they're all going to be like either a blank, like in this case, blank bag. So you would have to write, okay, for blank bag, everyone tries to write the word they think is before the bag, right? Or snow, like is it snowfall or snow, whatever, right? This is baked something, baked something. Is it baked pie? Is it baked goods? Is it baked whatever? So now in this game, everyone writes down what they think it's going to be, but it works a little bit different because like maybe herd mentality? Like that one, you're trying to be in the majority, right? Then that's how you do good well. Here, you're trying to be like match with like one person. Because if I write down a word and you match my word, and just one of you match my word, we score 3 points. Now, if more than 2 people match, you only get 1 point. And if you match with nobody, you get nothing. Right? So in this game, you're trying to like really zone in on like one person if you can. But worst case, you get a point if 3 people match. Or you can have like where like 2 people match and 2 people match and that's it. They both get 3 points, right? So it depends on how many people you play and how the matches work. But that's essentially the game. So yeah, that's simple, easy, plays quick, easy to learn. It's another game like it gets you talking because some people are like they're like no way it's it's fast, like no way it's everyone's sure it's fast car, no way it's fast something else. Like people start like to talk and like think you're crazy if you have like a very out there answer. So we finally made it 19. For here on out, there's just 1 game per number, I swear. It was hard at the bottom, like they're kind of all interchangeable. I wanted to show them off. We'll call them honorable mentions. We'll call them that. But for number 19, it's going to be Decrypto. Now this is only, I love this game. I want to play it more, but it's so hard to play it because I like it at least. I prefer to have at least 6 people playing it. I find like that's a good number. And usually I can easily have 2, 3, or 4 players sometimes. Usually 2 or 3. So yeah, not that fun. And 4 players, I tried it at 4 one time. It's just not as fun. I think when you're giving clues to somebody, it's good to give clues to like 2 people at least, if not 3. Giving clues to just 1 person, I feel like you could be too far off. Anyway, so Decrypto, I'm not going to explain it all. I'll give the high level gist. Everyone loves this game in terms of if you can get them to play it. But it's a game that's hard to teach people. I have this debate with friends sometimes. Like this is to me like the hardest game to teach people. But it has cool opponents. Let me show you one thing. cool components. So it has these, and essentially these are words on them that are kind of like hidden, but it has these little like kind of those red filter glasses that you go here. And when you slide them in, you can then read the words on here. It just says like robot, witch, orange, and dog. And these are random words. And these are the words that you have on your card. So what you're trying to do is on your turn, you're trying to code, in this case, say 1, 2, 4. So I'm trying to code the first, second, and fourth word, in this case, robot, witch, and dog, to one of my teammates. So I'm the clue giver. No one knows this but me. So I'm trying to clue by giving him like robot. I could say something that, I give a one-word clue that would describe robot to him, right? But the catch is this: the other team's listening, right? And they're taking notes, and they're trying to guess your code. So as a game, I'm going to give this very high-level explanation. So as the game goes on, you keep giving clues, and they slowly start to figure out, okay, anything that's robot related is a 1, right? And they start to figure this out. So the kind of the goal of the game is you're trying to decrypt your speech in a way that they can't figure out what your words are, or where the positions are at least. But you have to do it in a way that your teammates still can do it, because your teammates can see the words, but your opponents cannot. So they can look at the words and be like, okay, I know the words Ryan said, I think it's this number. And you openly say the number. You'll be like, I think it's 1, 2, 4. And you're like, got it. But if I make it too easy, it makes their job easier in the future. And that's really it. You keep playing back and forth. They have their own words, and you're trying to like pick up. It's like a spy game. You're trying to pick up on what their codes are. So there's like a couple ways to lose, but the fun way is you try to like decrypt this person's code. So after they go, you can try to guess what it is. If it's right, like you earn a point, and if you get 2 points, the game's over, kind of thing. But the other way you can lose is if you make it too hard for your teammate, and they get it wrong too many times, then you lose that way too. So it's I don't know if that even makes sense. The summary is you're trying to secretly communicate words via codes to your partner without the other team figuring out what it is. It's probably the easiest way to say it. So this is Decrypto, and I love the game. I think it's so cool, but it is hard to teach and find the right people to play with. This is a very group-dependent game, I feel. I feel if you get people over the hump, like it takes a good 2 rounds for people. I don't know. Try to explain it. Even now, just try to explain it to somebody. It's tough. If you know what I'm talking about, if you play this game, you get what I'm talking about. For number 18, it's going to be No Thanks. Now, this one rated higher with my friends than me. Just want to let us say it up front. Easy to teach. I would say I'll give it like a 3 out of 5. It's a little bit complicated because people get hung up on one rule in particular. But just a quick, that's a good box. I always do this. If it doesn't fall right away, you know it's a good box. So let's just give you a quick gist. This is an easy game to teach. So everyone starts with like these chits. And you might have, the number depends on the players. Like you might have like 9 to 11. It really depends on the number of players. And so the gist of the game is you're trying to get the lowest score. So you're going to pass these cards around and you're going to slowly collect them. And at the end, the lowest score wins. But there's a little twist. It's a little twist how you can cancel cards out. So if I have the 17 in front of me, I can choose to pass it by saying no thanks. I add a chit. Now chits are kept secret, so no one knows like how many you have. And that's a good thing, because if they know you have like none, well, they can make you take the card. So you kind of get the illusion that you have more than you do. So you wouldn't want to play open like this. So I pass the card or I take it. So if they want to keep the 17, they keep the chit I put on there, or they add 1 to the pile and it gets passed to the next person. And that will continue until someone takes it. So if it gets back to me at this point, I'd be like, you know what? I'll take the 17. And then the next card comes out, and you play for like a certain number of cards. Now, the cool thing about the game is that it's like if an 18 comes out and I get it, well, if I can then cancel it out, because runs they cancel out in this game. So for instance, if I have the 17, 18, 19, 20 in this case, I only score the 17. I score the lowest of the run. So if I can get a 16 in front of this, and then a 15, then a 14, I continue to reduce my value down. So like numbers in front of the 17, like lower, are more valuable to me. Numbers that go directly behind it in a run, hey, those are like free to me. For instance, if the 20 came out, I can say, yep, I'm not going to take it because it doesn't hurt me, it doesn't help me. But people that's 20 points. If they don't have somewhere where to cancel it out, they might not want it. So I could like force it around the circle a couple times maybe. You know, obviously the pot will get big. People will just take it because, hey, they need the chips. Or if they have no chits left, then they have to take the card. So they can't, you don't want to say no thanks if you can put a little chit on there. So that's it. That's really the game. There's not much more to add. The strategy just comes to figure out like what to take, when to pass, how far to push your luck, and then that's it. That's no thanks. All right, let's keep rolling on to 17. Now 17, I'll give a caveat. It's just one, but this is not a game. I'm hit and miss with this game. Like when I play with like certain friend groups, this game's just like womp womp. It just doesn't hit well. But when I play with like families and kids, it goes really well. So this is definitely, when I had to go rate, it's hard. I had to go, well, this is the group dependent game. I do think it's a great game. I know it's on like a million people's list because it is super easy to teach and I can involve like all age groups and people can just play casually from the couch or they can play really anywhere. It's really simple to play this game. But if you haven't heard of Just One, the real quick boom is, you know, everyone gets markers, but in this case, you get different color markers, which is nice. I even put some like, you know, I go out there and buy some fancy markers sometimes when I run out of the cheapy ones they give you. So everyone gets one of these kind of whiteboards, a little bit nice. Look, they stand up, which is kind of cool. And what happens is, you know, there's still like a guesser in the game. So the guesser has to guess one of these words with you guys giving clues. So let's just say we put down, you know, ship or something like that, ship. So now everyone needs to write down one word, but the twist is it has to be unique once everyone shows. So if I write down like, you know, water, or there's someone who writes down like, you know, sailing, or basically you can put down words that will give you a clue that you just can't say ship, obviously. But when you turn them around and he has ocean and he has ocean, they get erased because you can just have just one, baby. So you're trying to figure out a clue to give them. Now this is where it's fun because like, do you go super obvious? Because thinking, okay, if one person does obvious, it's good. But like, I'm thinking, okay, we got to go not obvious. But then you think, well, if everyone goes not obvious, I can go obvious. But then you have the same idea as your friend, and you both go obvious, and then boom, your words are out of the game. So like if you're playing with 7 people, you know, one person the guesser, so you can have up to 6 clues with a 7-person game. Now, will you have 6 clues? That's the question. I've seen it sometimes when we turn around, they're all unique. 6 clues, person can figure it out. But sometimes they turn around and it's just one. There's just one clue. And playing with my wife, I was amazed. She nailed it. The one clue, got it. I was still, to this day, I was still one of the greatest like gots I've seen in a long time. But that's really, that's just the game. It's just like a fun cooperative. It's not a winner. Everyone's working together. And that's really the main reason I think some of my groups don't like it. Most my playing people just do not like cooperative games. They want a winner. So when it comes to some of these party games, like they need a winner, right? But team-based is probably as cooperative as they'll get. If it's team A versus team B, that's fine because someone's winning, but you're kind of working together, but you still have a winner. So this game, that's probably why it hasn't gone over well with certain groups, but I still love it. In the clutch, I haven't played in a while because, like I said, I'm only gonna bust this out with like mostly family groups. So far, it just doesn't work otherwise. But this is great. I mean, great game. If you fit that audience where you're just looking for, well, your group's very collaborative and they like working together, and this is definitely a game for you. Or something that, you know, you can play with Auntie May and Billy Bob and little Timmy, right? Different age groups. This is definitely a friendly game for families. So yeah, that's just one. So on to number 16, it's going to be How Dare You. It's very small. We're going to hold it up here. So this is another newer game to my collection. The box is getting beat up now because I've been throwing it in my bag when I go places. I'll bring like In Vino Morte. I'll bring this game. Sometimes Love Letter, another great little small game. I don't consider that a party game, but it's another small game. So then, How Dare You? The artwork is definitely strange. The concept is super simple. I love trivia games. I love different takes on trivia games. So this falls into that category. A different twist. So this game, super simple. I can explain it to you very quickly. It's a sort of push your luck trivia game where you don't need to know the answer. I always say trivia with friends. I gotta be careful. I gotta find a better way to describe trivia to people. When you say trivia, you could tell they start to shut off. I'm not playing this game because they're thinking like Trivial Pursuit. They have nightmares as a kid where you just don't know the answers. You know it or you don't know it. Where this one, you don't need to know it. You just need to know roughly what it is. So let's just use this card. It says the Sahara Desert. So how this game works is you would give me a number between 1 and 6 inclusively. You can also use 1 and 6. And I'm going to read one of the questions. We'll just say, we say number 5. So height of the tallest sand dune in the Sahara in meters or feet. You could say meters or feet. Well, I'm just gonna do feet because that's what I know. So the game works is I start off by saying a number, and then the card keeps passing around. The next person either can call me and say, hey, my number's too high. So if I go, I think it's 100 feet, right? The tallest sand dune in Sahara. If I think it's 100 feet. So they either say, that's too high, Ryan, because you want to go as close as without going over, kind of rules. So if I'm too high, they call me. If it's too high, I keep the card. In this game, you're trying to avoid these little geese on the top of the card, these little geese on top. This one's only worth 3. I think they go as high as 5. I think 3 is the lowest, might be lower. I don't know. I'll have to see. I haven't looked at all the cards. I only played it a few times, but I really like the game. So 3 is not a big deal because there's definitely a 4 and a 5 out there I've seen. So in this case, he either can call me or raise it. So let's say he raises it. He goes, I think it's 110. And then the next person can say, hey, you're too high. Or they can raise it. They say it's 120. And the next person could raise it or say you're too high. So they might say 125. And I'm like, crap, it's 125. I'm going 130. And I'm going to say 130, right? So now it's getting kind of high. This person might be like, you know what? I think a 130 is too high. Now they could keep raising. They can say 150, 160. Until someone calls it, that you check. So let's say they call me, I say 130. They call me 130. The answer is number 5. Holy smokes. It's located in Algeria and is 1,410 feet. So 1,400 feet, 430 meters. Wow. So we were way off. Like that can happen in this game. Sometimes they're really small numbers. Like I've seen ones where the answer is 10. So you're like, 3, 4, and it ends up being 10. So someone might say 15, but ultimately in this case, yeah, it's funny. Like I'm pretty sure we would have got to like 1,000. Someone would have called it eventually. So there you go. You learn something new. I apparently know nothing about the Sahara Desert and the tallness of their sand dunes, but that's okay. But that person would get the card in this case because they called me and I was way under. They would get the card, and now goes to the next person on my left. They read a card, and you continue doing this until someone gets 5 cards. Once you get 5 cards, everyone adds up their silly geese, and that's the loser. You only get 1 loser in this game. But once again, that's one of those games where you're just having fun. The points don't matter. Most of these party games, points don't matter. So that is How Dare You. I love the travelability of it and ease of playing it. I love trivia games. I mean, it's kind of cool because there's 6. I think there's like, how many cards? 60 different cards. And then there's 6 per card. So there's a lot of potential questions. And then by the time you cycle back through, you're only reading 1 per card. So this game is going to last a long freaking time. Because it's just, you can tell. I love it. I got to find a travel solution for the box. You guys have any idea? Maybe I can like put a plastic protector because it's starting to get pretty beat up. But is it? That's number, what number is this? 16? 15? I'll put a number here. Or there. Put it here. All right, see you. Cup of cheers. We are halfway there. So here we are at number 15. And this game, actually, I've never seen anyone talk about it before. Like, before I got into games, this was like gifted to me because I just started to play a few games and people are like, oh, hey, Ryan, you like games? Here's a game. And it is Sunken Sailor. Now, have you heard of this game before? The game I think most people play it's called like Fake Artist Goes to New York. I think that's the more popular one. So in this game, essentially everyone knows some information. Like in this case, it's all like, ocean-y themed stuff. Like might be like a parrot or something. It's a secret word. So everyone knows the word's parrot. So for the one person, the sunken sailor doesn't know the word's parrot. And you each take turns drawing something on a piece of paper to tell your people who in the know that you know it's parrot, but not to give it away to the sunken sailor. But the sunken sailor has to pretend they know and try to draw something, and then then you have a round where you're trying to like AI, try to convince that you are in the know when you're not. So let's just go through the game real quick. So like it's nice because the components are really nice. Nice, wood components here. You can see some of our horrible drawings. Get the light here. Yep, somewhere like maybe that's a good angle for lighting. Not the best. Which is this is nice because like you can literally just use the lid, put that here, and it comes with this guy here. So now that's like a built clipboard, and you would start with like 1 sunken sailor card, and you add it to these envelopes. And there's a ton of envelopes here, as you can see, and there's more on this side too. And each envelope is going to have a bunch of cards with the same thing on it. So you would open one of those envelopes, you would add in one of the sunken sailor cards, and then you just take, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 cards here. So if you're playing with 6 people, you would just take 5 cards and the 1 sunken sailor card for 6 people. So it all gets mixed up, and now you secretly pass them out. So everyone's gonna know the word is, in this case, Neptune, but no one will know, I've never seen Neptune, that's a different one. Usually they're like more nautical thing, like let's see what another one is. Like another one is like, oh, compass. Yeah, actually compass is a little bit more normal. Neptune, that's a hard one. I never had that one before. See, I'm still finding new ones in this game. I played it a few times. So whoever has this card, which is this sunken sailor card, they have to pretend, like if it's compass in this case, they don't know it's compass. So now everyone takes turns drawing with their crown. So they would take their color, green, for instance, and they would draw something to let everyone else know they know it's compass, but not to try to give it away. Because at the end, after everyone takes turn drawing 2 different things to the drawing, you kind of have a discussion, like I said, where you're trying to figure out who doesn't know. Right? And sometimes people go too vague. So even though they know the word, they go a little too vague. So then the sunken pirate can use that to kind of make them look guilty. But in the day, everyone votes. And if the majority of people vote for the sunken pirate, then okay, they get points. And if they avoid getting picked, then they get points. Now there is a redemption. If you single them out, but they can still guess the drawing, then they still win. So that's why you have to be careful what you draw. Anyways, yeah, really nice components. Like I really do enjoy this game. In terms of like, because I play the games like Chameleon and like Secret Identity and always kind of hidden people. And this is a really fun one. And I do like the fact that the cards come with the word on it. Because at least in my version of Fake Cards Goes to New York, now you have to like write in on everyone's card the real thing. And it's just sometimes more time consuming. Where here you can just literally grab a card, add it in, and you're good to go. So yeah, this is Sunken Sailor at number 15. All right, number 14 is going to be Say Anything. Now, this is a game that I rated higher than my friends, but it's just, I think, once again, it's a group-dependent thing. And they enjoyed it. I just say, I think I rated a little bit higher. Once again, this game is similar to the game we talked about earlier, like same, but different, where someone has to kind of fill in their answers. I notice those games can be hit and miss with certain people because they feel like they can't come up with an answer. So in this one, I'll just read like the back, because once again, I'll show you. This games have a lot of, so in this case, I liked it. I always like a good scoreboard that's in one spot. I admire. Oh, they went black. Our famous markers, black this time. Okay, of course, our infamous whiteboards. Gotta have them, gotta have them. So how this game works, so this game is similar to the game we talked about earlier, like same, but different. So like, I feel like, these can be hit and miss with people, like I said, who are kind of scared to maybe come up with their own answer. But this has a twist on it. I think makes it a little bit better. Is sort of like Wits and Wagers, you bet on people's responses. So for instance, if the prompt is like, say the prompt is, in my opinion, if I'm the judge, who is the greatest villain of all time? So that's the question. Who is the greatest villain of all time? So everyone takes their cards and writes down who they think the greatest villain is. They all get placed face up. So I can see them all, and now like everyone, and that's the nice part. Everyone reveals them, and if it's either like, ooh, it gets a lot. It's nice like get to know people game, and also it can be funny depending on the question. So everyone shows the answers, and then I use I like the name of it, the Selectomatic 5000, and I select which one I think is my favorite, right? So I'll say like the red one's my favorite, whatever. So now the twist of this game is it's not like same thing, but different. That's it. The game ends there. I pick my favorite and we move on, right? But this is a nice level deeper. So everyone gets these tokens, 2 in their color, and now they can place like 2 tokens on one, or they can spread them up, and they try to figure out like what I'm gonna pick. Because if they choose correctly, then they score, right? And there's all the other ways to score too, but that's the main concept. So it's nice because like even though you don't come up, maybe say you think you don't come up with a good answer, well, you can still vote and kind of get in on the action. So it's not all on you too. You can still win this game basically without being the guy who's writing down funny responses. So yeah, so that's a nice twist on like the concept. These games always remind me of like a childhood game I used to play as a kid called Balderdash, which I'm sure you guys have heard of it. If not, it's another classic game I haven't played since I was a kid, so I don't know how it holds up today. But I always like these games where you have these things and you're writing things in. It just opens up to a lot of creativity. So That's it, now I gotta put it all away. This Say Anything. Okay, coming in at 13 is Mr. Sushi Go Party, or Mrs., you know, either one. So this is Sushi Go Party. I've played a few times, but the people I play with, they loved it. It's a nice, simple drafting, set collecting game. That means nothing to you? Well, I'll show you right now what that means. Now, side note, I'm not a fan of these tins. I wish, like, they're cool, but they just do not stay on. Like, if I hold this like this, it's like, yeah, see, it's just gonna, it wants to open on its own. So, good game. I mean, you need a rubber band, pretty much. So a Sushi Go Party, you know, essentially you have a menu of items that you're trying to collect, and then there's different ways they're worth different points. And right now it's not really set up because there's, in the party edition, there's like so many different sets that you can have. And here it lists out a bunch of different, like, if you want like a certain style of play, like use these cards. If you want like a combative or this kind of game, use these cards. So they give you a bunch of suggestions of different groups and cards, but ultimately each game's gonna flow down to the same flavor. All these cards will be like different type of like sushi rolls or like wasabi or soups. And in a game, everyone starts off like a set of 7 cards or so. They take one and they pass it down. And then you keep passing the piles around until the cards are gone. So the whole time you are taking cards and putting them in front of you. And you're just trying to get these different sets. Like if you get 3 wasabi, it might score you this. Or if you get like an eel with this other combination, the pairing equals this many points. And that's really the game. It sounds almost too simple, but it just has a fun feel to it. And then this is nice because you basically add in these cards right here, like these little cards, and they'll slot in to like the board based on what they are. And that way each game can feel fresh. Like you basically can mix it up here. Yeah, so played this game a few times with my in-laws, and it went over really well. Like, they really enjoyed it. We got crushed. My sister-in-law killed us all. I don't know. I guess she's a drafting wizard because, you know, I'm over here teaching the game, and I got destroyed. So, but it's fun. It's a good one. I just wish it wasn't this steel case. And I got to get a giant band for it. But yeah, Sushi Go Party. All right, down to the final 2. The next one I already mentioned as a comparison to Blank Slate, and that is Green Team Wins. It actually has similar cards to Blank Slate, but it also offers 2 different types of cards. So I think having different cards probably makes it stand out a little bit different versus always fill in the blank. This one also does like this or that, or best of 3. So like, you know, multiple choice. So that, I mean, it just changed up the flavor a little bit. So otherwise, this game is very similar. In the case of this one though, you're trying to be in the majority. You never want to be the singled out. So like you kind of want to be in the masses. And if you are, you get points. And if you're not, you kind of lose. Now, well, not lose. You just don't get as many. You just don't score. And the whole thing about this one is Green Team Wins is like you want to be on the green team, not on the losing orange team. And if you on the green team, you get X amount of points, and if you're on the orange team, you just don't get points. And also, you want to stay on the green team because if you go from orange to green, you get less points than if you were already on green. And that's the concept of the game. Otherwise, you're just asking questions. Like, I'll just give you a little flair, like this or that. Remembering to send a birthday card or taking the time to send a postcard. So basically, you would pick one of those, right? Or another this or that. Someone brought bagels or somebody brought donuts. That's more relatable than this one, I think. Or this or that. Indoor sports or outdoor sports. Or, you know, fill in the blank. Mr. This is very similar to Blank Slate. Mr. Blank. Okay, what is it? Mr. what? Mr. Rogers, Mr. that. So Sarah Blank. So many ones I can think about. But you're trying to like figure out what people are going to think about the same because you're kind of staying on the green team. So yeah, and then this one comes with these kind of whiteboards, was how to score here. Not as big of a fan to score here because people keep track and it's hard to keep people honest. I wish this did come with like a big scoreboard so that way you can kind of easily see how everyone's doing. That's my only complaint about this game versus like Blank Slate. I like that everyone can see like how everyone's doing, where this one's a little bit harder to track that. All right, the last one for this list until the next video. We get to the top 10 in the next one. This one has been a big hit with my in-laws at least, and this is Ink and Gold at 11 here. So Ink and Gold is a game that, man, it's like it's almost hard to explain to people the first game. I would say it's a little bit harder to explain in some games, but super simple once they play. I think it's just you just got to go through a couple rounds, and then they're like, wait, this game's super easy. Like, oh yeah, it's easy. It's just, I think some of the nuances of it are just, you have to experience it to like really understand it. It always reminds me of that movie like Blast from the Past, where like you can't explain baseball to somebody. It's hard to explain some concepts until they see it. So similar to this game. But ultimately, it's a push-your-luck game where you are turning over these cards, and some have treasure on it, and some have like booby traps, we'll call them, like bad guys on them. It's like venomous snakes, mummies, falling rocks, but just not good cards, right? And it's a sort of like push your luck in the terms of, yeah, I use these salad containers, but you have always money payouts. Everyone gets 2 cards, either this, my edition, they didn't do a great job at saying which one's in. So that's a little bit of debate. This one, apparently the one where he's like, this one means he's leaving, and this one means he's staying. So ultimately though, on every turn, after you basically either stay or you go. That's really it. That's the entire game. It's like stay or go, stay or go. But like there's different times when you want to stay, there's different times when you want to go. But ultimately, the deck is filled with like either treasure cards, like this, or there are disasters, like this. My cards have been really beat up. We played this game a lot, so it's seen better days. And then most of the cards are like these cards, where they are like money cards, like rubies. And how it happens is each time you deal a card, if there's money, you divide it evenly amongst the players, and anything that you can't divide evenly goes into the cards. So everyone's accumulating different amount of money, right? And then eventually, if you say, all right, I'm out, then you take all the monies that are on the card, right? If you're the only one that leaves. And you get to keep everything you have. Because you can basically bust in this game. Once like 2 baddies come up that are the same, like 2 mummies or 2 rock, then everyone loses their money and you have to start a new round. So that's the twist. Like you're trying to like wait to go out, but if you go out with everybody, then like you kind of get nothing. Because like there's like, say there's 6 rubies or 6 little monies. If I go out and I only want to get all 6, if 2 people go out, then we split them and get 3 and 3. But if like say like 5 of us go out, then you can't divide by 5, so then no one gets it and they stay there. So if anyone stayed in, they get it. So there's this constant like, when do I go? When do I think you're gonna go out? So you're always weighing those options. And then you're essentially just collecting money. You know, you have to at least bank it to keep it. And at the end of the game, you know, whoever has the most money wins. And there's a couple other rules out there I won't go into now. There's all these treasures and they have slightly different rules about when who gets it and doesn't get it. But it always makes good tension. This game creates good tension because the choices are simple. Do I stay or do I go? And then it could have a lot of impact or no impact. And it depends on who goes out. Or if you think everyone's going out and you stay in, then they all kind of screw themselves over and you just get everything for free. So yeah, definitely a game, definitely a push your luck game. It's gone over really well with my family. They really enjoyed it. Like they really want to play all the time. So I had to put it away for a little bit because I was like, okay, I got burnt out on it for a little bit. You know, like I like new games. I'm a gamer by heart, so I want to play all these new games. But this is a game I will pretty much always play. It's especially with the right crowd. It's a lot of fun. And that's a wrap on top party games 20 through 11. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment. You know, which one of those games maybe you never heard of that you're kind of curious to go check out. You know, leave me a little comment below. Also, you know, next week we'll be going over through 10 through 1, and we'll wrap up this top 20 party game series. So I'll see you guys soon. So hit subscribe and all that good stuff. Take care. Bye-bye.